Alright. Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Yuanji.
I'm Saint.
Today we're gonna open some stuff.
We're gonna drink some stuff. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's our last episode of the year, so I think we're gonna do our year in review. You remember anything from the beginning of this year?
Oh man, what a long year it's been. We made so many videos.
Yeah, over 130 videos.
Yeah. I remember when we first started doing like the channel, I knew that collectibles wasn't gonna like forever like be super hot.
Of course.
But
that wasn't the expectation.
Yeah, but I think as we made more videos, as we tried to kind of get better at doing it, it's been a fun experience.
Hell yeah. Been a good journey, bro. It's definitely been a lot of learning, a lot of growing pains. And I mean, although we don't monetize, it almost feels like its own industry, its own business. Like content creation.
Oh, yeah.
Is
it's definitely its own
skill set. It's its own trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just wanted to look back, relax, review, not open any boxes, not talk about any drama, not talk about any ups or downs in the market, just look back at all the videos we did.
Yeah.
Does anything strike out to you? I mean, I've got our video archives.
I remember the first videos that we were doing. At first, we were just doing like box openings.
Yep.
And I think there was like one of them was like I forget, it was like the community one.
Yeah.
Or a lyric, I forget. It was like the first like video where I remember we were like in your apartment and I was like, I really wanted to just like tell like a story instead of it just being like whatever it is that we were doing.
Whatever I bought and whatever I'm feeling like opening, let's see what's up.
Yeah,
right?
It's like let's make the videos all like mean something, at least like within themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the direction that we try to make all of the videos, or at least most of the videos that we made this year.
I think so. I think, Yuanji, you definitely set us on a certain course, and you're like, there's got to be more than just opening a box and what's inside the box, because that's low-value content.
Right.
And I mean, we do that. We are FaBled hunters. We do want to hunt every single FaBled.
Yep.
We're not done yet.
We hit the library.
Okay.
We hit the eye. Did you open a shard?
The shard was on Channel Fireball and the Cheyenne.
And then the heart
doesn't count.
You got
it doesn't count. It was off on my own.
But we're
still looking for the heart
one on the channel.
And then the Corsham, we're still opening Aria here and there. We still have time in the beginning of the year to catch up and get some Corsham action.
You at home can also give your shot. The boxes themselves are not that expensive right now. But yeah, it's really hard to just like only make videos where the cards are the centerpiece.
The centerpiece, yeah. We have to incorporate our personalities, our own experience, and how we can relate and connect with the viewers as well.
Yeah.
Right? So that's been a good learning process. You know, we see what hits, what doesn't hit, and we're still doing this. We still find there's content that we want to release regardless of the views.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some content that we want to release just to, let the viewers like learn a couple things. That's what's really important. And then otherwise, there's just straight up content like, hey, this is my journey. I want to record it. And one day maybe my kids, my friends, my family, my extended family can see, or they can look back. Or even I can look back like, what was I doing in 2020 and 2021, right?
Yeah, better than to just be sitting at home being upset about quarantine or whatever.
Whatever, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was how it was for a little bit, and that's why a lot of people got into cards and trading card collecting. Yeah, I keep looking back. I think there was one distinct video. It was called FaBled Mail Day International, featuring a gift from the creator.
Yeah.
That was probably the first time that it was super embarrassing, because do you remember where we opened it up, like Michael looked at me, I looked at Michael, and I was
you're like, it's just
another retail appreciation kit. And then like James is reaching out to me,
like, please open
on LinkedIn, like, open the damn box, Saint. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
And then my buddies were like, Saint, when somebody gives you a gift, like, you're supposed to open it. And I was like, I feel like such a dumbass.
Yeah.
I was just being like a little, hoarder, and like, oh, well, it's probably more valuable sealed. And then I opened it up, and there was that E-Strike mat, and it was specifically from James.
There's that note.
Oh man, yeah, the note as well. Oh wow, that was the first gaffe, our first misstep as content creators.
I remember the Black Lotus video was really good.
Okay, the Black Lotus
I
video.
really like that one.
Okay.
A lot of the videos, like the first couple box battles that you did with Ada, those were pretty fun.
They're pretty fun.
To
They're
shoot.
pretty hot.
I guess like not fun for you.
No, not really. Not fun for me. Different ways Ada tortures me. That was not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we're thinking of taking another direction.
Yeah, but there's always if enough fans enough
request a
comments,
box battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might do one later on, but I'm not just consistently doing box battles
Yeah.
because I've lost every single one but one, I think.
But I think that's part of like the discovery process, right? Because I think as like new content creators, everybody's just trying to like find like their like niche, their secret formula. And honestly, like speaking, like we're not even like close to being there yet.
I know, I agree. And it's not even about being there because some people are trying to hit a number, some people are trying to get a certain Patreon count.
Well, I just mean in terms of discovering like what it is that we're best at.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay.
I don't think we found like the magic formula yet.
Well, I gotta say, like, I think the viewers definitely respond to the scandal videos and the grading videos and the grading critique videos. That's for sure. And honestly, Ada just told me this the other day. She's like, "Oh, you'll be okay. You've got Yuanji. People like Yuanji more than they like me anyway." And I'm like, "Don't say that, Ada. We all like you. You got a lot of viewers that like you." I think a lot of the critical analysis videos talking about the community, talking about the game itself, talking about trading card games, like when we do that, a lot of the community responds favorably and they're really plugged in, they're really engaged because you've got a lot more time as a content creator and more experience behind the scenes, you know, in the mix of trading card games. That was fun. I mean, I looked at the Lotus video that you mentioned.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big video. It went all over the place. It was on Reddit. It was in both groups.
Yeah.
It crossed over between Magic and Flesh and Blood.
And I think that was a really good video because like I've always been pretty big on telling Sane and Ada, I was like, you really have to like show like yourselves.
Yeah.
To like everybody, because otherwise you're just like some random person opening boxes.
Yeah.
And I think hearing your story about what it meant for you to be collecting Magic is something that resonates well. And that's more so the type of content that I think is really fun to make.
Yeah.
I really like finding good stories to tell them.
Well, I can't find a Black Lotus every day or trade it.
We don't have to always find Black Lotuses. But I think this is I think a good segue to think about where it is, like where do you think you want to take the direction of the videos, like moving forward?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, we'll ask the viewers as well.
Yeah, like we want your input as
Yeah,
well.
we want your input as well. So far, I think just investigating and being passionate about the community, doing things like recently just bringing everybody in on the last box opening, like of a 40 box opening, and just sharing the content, sharing the results, and sharing some thoughts. That's much more helpful than, oh, here's 24 packs in front of me, and I'm just going to open some stuff, and, you know, I'm going to either do push-ups or do sit-ups or run around like a crazy person or drink some wasabi. Like, that was kind of fun. Not as, it's fun to watch for outside people who are into the channel, but it's not really nutritious content, I think, and just the insight of talking to other content creators. I want to do a lot more interviews. So content creators out there, if you're watching, please reach out and we can do a collaboration. We can share the content. I'll post it on my channel. You post it on your channel. We'll cross-link like we've done recently. It was really fun doing it with Sloop Dupe and Para9. We'd like more artists. We'd like to get people involved in lore.
I remember the first time when we were setting up for that first like video interview, and you knew nothing about like how to do like any of the setup. I think you've grown a lot. In terms of like feeling comfortable.
IT,
asking,
right?
Yeah, like being able to like do the interview, like feeling comfortable, like asking people the questions.
Yep. And it's just been more natural. I've not been interviewed very much. As a matter of fact, this whole process has helped me out so much. Just speaking publicly, speaking in a forum format for some nonprofit endeavors and some, you know, activism endeavors. And it's been great. It just made me feel a lot more confident. Going back real quick to the beginning, I never thought I'd be in front of a camera or just attempting to be myself or showing a part of myself to anybody who wanted to click onto YouTube. And that adjustment has been really, really tough. I do remember back in the Sane and Mike days, like really, really early on, first couple months,
Mm-hmm.
I said some stuff that, although would be okay to be said if it were a couple buddies like having a drink,
Yeah.
like when the camera's not on and just chatting at the bar.
Yeah.
But I still said it, and you came in and you're like, we have to edit that out, Saint. We've got to, you know, and you made like a little distraction. You cut certain parts, and I'm like, okay, I get it. The world is very different. There are some places, like in your own home, in your place of business, where you can speak your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, it's just really tough to really speak your mind about certain things or be yourself because of all the judgment and all the outrage that could potentially happen.
Yeah,
right?
I think the context is very important. If the first time that you interact with somebody is
Mm-hmm.
by watching a video of them, you don't have like the context of talking to them, of understanding like who they are. Even if you're like friends with somebody for like weeks, months, whatever, you might still not fully understand.
Absolutely.
So I think it's really tough nowadays, like as people who appear on camera, whatever, you have to live like both sides, right? Like in real
Mm-hmm.
life, like when you interact with people versus like how you want to portray yourself. Like a lot of it is communication. Like I know who you are and what your values are.
Yeah.
But how can you best like communicate that through whatever medium?
Exactly. And not to just be too pushy with those values or to virtue signal with those values. It's really tough. It's tough just being yourself and showing enough of you to be genuine.
Yeah.
But then not showing too much of you that you might offend a certain group.
Yeah.
So it's really, really tough.
It's a learning process.
Yeah, it is a learning process. I would say one of the breakthroughs that I felt was, although it wasn't a live interview, we still want a live interview if we can get it. It was the written interview with Alaric.
Oh, yeah.
From Secret Lab.
Yep.
Like, that was pretty big because a lot of people, for whatever reason, they just assumed that I was the biggest whale. Oh my god, he's such a big whale. In Flesh and Blood, nobody else has a chance. But then just out of Singapore, like, oh, what up? It's me, founder of Secret Lab.
Yeah.
And, his collection dunks on my collection. And it's like, that's actually a good thing because you always have to remember that you can't be the biggest one. It's not easy to be the biggest collector. And there might even be collectors with a larger position than Alaric. Alaric just bought his position. He's like, well, I was late on Pokemon, and I've got a good collection on Pokemon, but I want a really good collection in Flesh and Blood, so I'm going to call every single distributor in the world and buy everything.
Even like in terms of collecting, right? It's not always about like collecting the most. Like whatever, you can't just like
you can't
just can't,
are
like,
the
go,
best.
Like, buy like everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about collecting what you
think.
It's
is,
like a very
is
personal
nice.
thing. I think that's what I learned. Because this is also a learning process for me. Most of my experience from being around trading card games has just been like on the player side.
Yeah.
And then so it's really it's a really good learning experience for me to kind of learn like, okay, like what motivates you. I remember when I first like came to your house.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw like all of the cards. And I was like, what would possess a man to own all of these cards? And then I find myself even sometimes talking to my friends and not only in cards when we're talking about like NFTs, cryptos, or like whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like you have to like things have to be useful. Like no, like well, the person just has to like it. And
Just
I think,
to like it. Yeah.
And I think like for me, like doing this channel, like being around you, learning about like collecting has kind of like opened up my perspective into like what do you do after you have like a playset of like whatever deck that you want to play. Like how do you find joy?
Of course.
In the game. It's broadened my understanding a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many ways to enjoy as well. It's not only about opening alpha or any first edition product.
Yeah.
I even said on camera, and I meant it, that night I was delirious. I've had sleep since then. But I was like, this is the most fun I've had like ever. And I was opening 40 boxes of Crew Unlimited.
Yeah.
And it was just so exciting because even opening a shard, like in terms of proportional value, a cold foil shard versus a non-foil shard, that's a pretty big degree of separation.
Sure.
However, when I was doing it live and just opening the packs, it didn't matter. A hit was a hit. Yeah. And in Flesh and Blood, it was like when you go through enough packs and you open up something cool, it was still cool, no matter if it was in rainbow foil or in cold foil. Yeah. And that time, I probably had more fun opening those Crucible boxes than I have yet opening any WTR box.
Wow.
Yeah. So that, I mean, but it was also 40. So like WTR is really concentrated. It's like 24 packs of like gut wrenching.
It's a real sweat.
Yeah, it's a sweat, gut wrenching pain. Whereas this was just like, there's so much cool stuff. And I just, it wasn't really stressful. Honestly, opening WTR is really, really stressful because it's like, it's hit or miss. You could be like, oh, if I only knew. Like, I have fun opening it. But just the feeling of like, I'm opening up a piece of history and then it's no longer going to be around. Hitting that 10%. You know what I mean? Like hitting that 10%.
It has to be higher than 10%.
Based off of our I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm saying.
Yeah, the 10% of not hitting any cold foil.
Based off of our has to be more than 10%.
Well, I just think that I've got really bad variants, and hey, so far this year it's been proven by how many times I've won box battles against Ada. That's supposed to be a coin flip, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 or something like that.
Oh, man.
That's really, really horrible.
Yeah.
And then the one that didn't count because it was like a holiday.
Yeah.
That's the one I won, but there's no penalty. So exactly, it's like Murphy's Law. So my variance is really bad. I would say over the long haul, it's roughly 1 in 10. It really is 1 in 10.
Okay.
That 10 probably happens because there are the 10% of boxes that have 2 cold foils, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it goes back and forth. We've opened like 3 or 4, and we haven't even opened 40 WTR.
Yep.
Right? And we opened 1 Arcane. But then remember that other Arcane, right? The most recent Arcane we opened, we ended Arcane with such a bang that I don't even know if it's
that was
worth.
Nice.
I think it made up for like at least 3 non-cold foil Arcane boxes. That box was worth more than 3 boxes. It was worth more than a case, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was told again and again that Arcane box was probably the best box ever. Like the best mathematically possible box. And then the condition was amazing as well.
Yeah.
To get a 1 in 400 and another 1 in 400 and a second cold foil, that's like 1 in 400 times 1 in 400 times 1/10, like 10% after that. Like there are so many degrees of difficulty in opening that box that I don't ever know how it'll be topped. I mean, I challenge the community. Go out there and look through all 16,000 boxes. I don't see how it can happen. I don't see how it can be topped.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, I've told you more than once, on and off camera, that I was excited. Like, I literally snapped back into that moment.
Yeah.
And I was hyped for straight up 2 weeks. Like, even James White was hyped. He's like, oh my God, did you see that box? I was like, yeah, you made that product. That's you. You did that. And he's like, no, but seriously, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And there was a second comp. And there was not only just the Majestic, but a Command and Conquer and the FaBled. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, we were just fanboying over his product. He was fanboying over his own product. As weird as it is, like that's how committed he was, and that's how hyped he was for me as well. And I was hyped for you opening, and I was hyped just being there.
I think one of the advantages of being able to work on a game that is still like yet small is that it's really cool to be able to do like episodes where we have interviews with James White, where we get like gifts from him. I think his game in 2020, 2021 is like really successful on like a business level in terms of like units sold,
of course,
like all these metrics. But at the same time, like he cares so much about the grassroots, like beginning, like the community aspect,
yes, the connectivity, the person to person relationships that are built, and the loyalty and the bonds that we're building with one another.
Yeah,
right?
that he's like putting himself out there. He's like doing interviews with like a lot of these like content creators.
Yeah, and he's writing personally. Like he wrote to Sloop Dupe, and that was so meaningful for Sloop Dupe. I was happy on behalf of Sloop Dupe. I was like, I'm happy for you. It's like you were a little depressed, and I saw it on your content, and then you just turned him right around. You like did a 180. He's like, wow, I talked to James White. This is validating. All of these efforts in making content is really validating.
Yeah, and I know like doing this channel, being around like you, working with like James White, whatever, is kind of like teaching me the importance of being around like high character like individuals, in terms of people who they do what they say they're going to do, but then at the same time they also like make the time for the people that they find important.
High integrity.
Yeah.
Right? To value integrity, but to value relationships as well. That's just, it's so hard. It's become so much harder to find people with those characteristics, right? The loyalty and the integrity, and always just do what you want to. Like these days, you can make plans with certain people, and then I'm not even surprised when they're like, "Oh, what? We made plans? Oh, sorry, this came up." Or, "Oh, sorry, the default's like, oh, sorry, I had a family emergency," and I'm like, "Okay, we're not gonna be doing very much business." And you know, right? You know how to dismiss people, and that's unfortunately, it feels like there are much less people that stick through to their word and stick through to their commitments than there are that do. And it's tough to find those people, especially successful people that are like that, but they value your time as much as you value theirs. Right? So that there's that match, because in this day and age, especially through this pandemic, it's just really shown how little character there is in the world at large. That sounds very pessimistic, but
no, well, it's just that
it's true. I think it's true.
I mean, you could phrase it another way. It's not the fact that how little character there is in the world these days, but it's just like how rare it is to like find people of good character.
Exactly. Of a certain level, to maintain a certain level of integrity. Especially these 2 past years, given current events, I've had to cut out more people out of my life than the people I allow in. People that are just reaching out of nowhere. Like, they weren't reaching out day 1 or week 1 or month 1, but month 7, year 2, like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? We haven't talked in a while." It's like, what do you want? Why are you reaching out to me now? What happened the first 18 months of the pandemic, and like all of a sudden we're really good friends now? You know what I'm talking about, right? I think it's happened to almost everybody. I think even the viewers know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the people that were really important to you and you were important to them, they would reach out really early on. "Are you okay? Are you fine? Are you okay? Is everybody healthy? Is everybody safe?" "Great, I'm okay, you're okay." I reached out to everybody as well. Everybody's okay. Then you understood, okay, those were the people that really cared. And then afterwards, there was like a second, third, fourth wave of people that just reach out just because they usually need something, and it's usually financial related, right? So like it's tough to find a game with such quality individuals. James, obviously, but Chris Pierce, Chris Bewley, Jason, other individuals in the Fab LSS management that are Alan. Let me not forget Alan, of course, who's always putting himself out there.
I feel like Alan's like the jack of all trades. I feel like he does like everything in there.
And he's everywhere. He's trying to support every effort that he can. Just put himself out there. Yeah, imagine doing that in lockdown, right? I think.
They're
still in lockdown.
No, I think they're like easing out of it.
Easing out of lockdown?
Yeah.
Okay, but it was a solid 4+ months, right?
I think they were in and out of lockdown for, I think, like 18 months or something. Like 14 or 18 months.
Oh, but this last wave of stringent lockdowns, like, stay at home or else you're arrested. That was crazy. And they're still maintaining their connection with the community. They're being selfless. They're like, forget about me and this crappy situation. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to interact with the community. I'm going to stay engaged. I'm going to stay plugged in. I'm going to be on the Facebook groups, the Discords, the Reddits, and just contribute wherever I can, post social media, and be responsive to everybody. This crew is really, really, really special. How about that interview? That was pretty good. We made it 3 parts. It was really hype in the beginning, and then the other 2 parts, people faded out, but they did tune in. The loyal members.
I thought that the PvE, the dedication to PvE and to alternate modes of play, that was really big. And honestly,
Mark Poole spoiler.
Yeah,
right?
The Mark Poole spoiler. Actually, now that you brought it up, I wanted to ask you, now that 2021 is kind of over, what do you hope to see in 2022 in Flesh and Blood?
Oh, PvE? For sure.
Yeah.
Please bring PvE into the game. Like, that's just gonna separate Legend Story Studios from every other publisher once we do PvE. I could see myself going to the local game store just to meet with people every week.
Yeah.
Instead of Friday night MTG, Friday night PvE, right? Friday night Fab. Go, do a raid.
Yeah, PvE, I think, to me, is really big. I'm curious why you think it's really important.
Because PvE just blends so many elements together. Before even Magic the Gathering, there was Dungeons and Dragons, and that just brings so many people together. I remember people older than me that talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and they're saying that they had the best friendships forged within a party at D&D, and I had some really solid friendships forged through the Magic community.
Yeah.
But I'd like to replicate that same experience by meeting people playing Fab. Just for example, my first F&M, I met this guy, he was in private equity. Because of his contact, I had business opportunities to literally fly around the world, meet politicians, meet influential businessmen, and expand my network, make myself a little more successful. Despite the pandemic, despite all that, I'm actually having dinner with them tomorrow night. Like, we're just hanging out, catching up, seeing how life is, and it's great just to do that. Make like those meaningful relationships where you can be friends with somebody for 5, 10, hopefully, more than 20 years, hopefully your entire life, if you can help it. Just stay in touch with people that you value. And I think by doing that, by building that type of community within player versus environment, you've got 5 or 6 or 8 or 10. I don't know how many people LSS can put into a party or what the party method is going to be.
I like 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Yeah. Okay. Hey, I don't know. I mean, I've been in dungeon parties or in D&D campaigns where there's 3 people. I've been in D&D campaigns where there's like 8 or 10 people.
Yeah.
And it all fits. Like raid style. I don't know. Maybe 4 or 5 normal, but like once a quarter, something like a raid where...
Dude, that'd be like really cool if at like calling events they had like a
raid?
Yeah.
Right?
Like a big, like, I don't know, they let like 100, 200 people, whatever.
And then
like, all work
fight a couple of bosses because they're the judges. The judges can supervise the mobs or the NPCs or whatever the baddies are. And then there'll be like a head judge running the stats and the actions of that final boss. And I don't know, people will get cut down or incapacitated, and then they need to get revived by whatever hero class, and then they'll run back. And I think LSS could manage it, right?
There's a lot of opportunities. I think I personally am really excited for PvE because to me, like, the strongest aspect of Flesh and Blood is like the world, the art, the story, the potential for storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that to me is like what makes Flesh and Blood a game that's unique from all the other games. I think Magic is a little bit different, but definitely like for Yu-Gi-Oh, for Pokemon, like the story is just like they have like a mainline game where they have like a show or whatever.
Of course.
But I think like Flesh and Blood opens up the possibility because it's very like character driven.
Mm-hmm.
So it being character driven, like you can like write your own stories. It's a little bit more open ended, and I think that like part of the reason why Magic is so successful, at least in recent memory, is because like you can really tell like good stories like through the medium of the game. Something that I don't like about the direction of Magic that they've done is that they don't like write like short stories. They don't have like authors write like books or whatever anymore.
Yep.
I think recently they started also scaling back on like the amount of like creative work that they do like on their website. It's mostly all like through like the cards now and like whatever.
It's all in the cards. You have to buy the cards and read the flavor text to see what's happening. It's not really that impressive. Like last I was paying attention, it was like Nicole Bolas, the evil dragon, is trying to fight Liliana, the evil necromancer, and hey, it's going back and forth. It's a struggle between good and evil, and I'm like, Nicole Bolas, like, I like the old Nicole Bolas, the one in Legends in 1994.
Yeah.
Like, you're writing like 7 different Nicole Bolas stories. It's really, really silly.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to what they do in that space.
Yeah.
I'm personally looking forward a lot to organized play announcements, but that's more of like my like a selfish thing. Like I want to play more tournaments.
You want to play more tournaments, and you want to see what the calling season looks like.
Yeah.
You were at how many of the callings in 2021 in the U.S.? You were at all 4 of them, right? I was at every one except for Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, I didn't play him, but we were doing some work for LSS's social media.
But you were present, right?
Yeah.
Even that is a story.
It's a fun atmosphere to be around. This isn't about the channel, but for me, 2021 in Flesh and Blood organized play, a lot of it was about kind of establishing like, okay, like these are like the 500, 500, whatever, like players.
Yeah.
I see them all the time. These
Yeah.
are the guys who are like really like invested in the game at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I want to see that like number grow. I made a lot of really good friends through playing Magic competitively,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a lot of people who I like really respect for how much time that they're willing to kind of like put into their craft. And I think that being in like this kind of environment kind of like leads to meeting like a lot of people who like don't want to just like do whatever everyone else is doing. It's like, okay, I know what everyone else is doing. I want to try to find a way to beat that. I think for me, 2022 would be really great if I could see that like expand. Every time I play somebody who's like newer,
Mm-hmm.
I always ask them, it's like, oh, like why did you decide to like get into Flesh and Blood? And it was like really good to hear like, oh, some people got in like when Monarch came out, and some people got in like when Tails came out. Tariq Patel, like the U.S. national champion, I think he
I'm buddies
started.
with him, yeah.
Yeah, he started when Tales of Mario pre-release. It's really good to see like as the game matures, as it like develops, for people to kind of give it a shot. And
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say
yeah.
that's my message for anyone like going into next year. It's like, give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Just play a couple games, show up, pay the 20, 30, 50 bucks to show up to an event.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to bring cards. You could just learn at the event. I learned how to play Tales of Aria literally in the limited format games. I learned on the fly.
Yeah.
And I didn't do really well. I like was slow on the uptake.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was, got my butt kicked at the first Tales of Aria pre-release.
Oh, but then you did a Pro Quest, you did pretty well.
I did pretty well at the Pro Quest.
Yeah.
I swept a couple of limited events, and I didn't even put in the reps. It wasn't that tough. It was just like, to be
That's
fair.
humble brags.
No. But to be fair, I'm fortunate to be friends with some of the top players in the nation and top players in the world. So I go seek advice from people that are much, much better than me. I learn as much as I can to try to just catch up, not win, but be competitive and understand what's going on so that I can be a legitimate member of the Flesh and Blood playing community as well. And speaking of that, that was a couple of Florida trips. That was pretty cool.
When
as
you
well.
when you went down with Rob.
Went down with Rob and just learned how to play. It felt like, I don't know, have you watched Kill Bill?
like the training montage.
Yeah, like a training montage with Paimei, right?
Yeah.
It was a little bit like that, and I was like, okay, I can play at plus 500. Like, these other people, they've trained for 3 months or 6 months, or they played for a year, and I'm not saying I'm better than them. I'm definitely not. I haven't put in the reps, but I've kind of just like leveled up in the hyperbolic time chamber and been able to hold my own. Hanging, dining, drinking with Matt Rogers, with Rob Seigel, with Tariq Patel as well. We hung out a couple callings before he actually won the Nationals.
Yeah.
Right? So that was great.
Ada opening the library as like the first like FaBled that we open on camera
Yes,
for the channel.
yes. Ada being lucky.
that
I
was
still
huge.
haven't. Yeah, I've only opened one. I've only opened Shard on camera.
I think the video where Ada, I think, opened up a lot more about her start in business, and then you also like gave like your perspective, I think was kind of an interesting video for us to make as a channel, because it's obviously like not necessarily Flesh and Blood.
Not about Flesh and Blood. It was about ourselves, and we kind of broke out of the mold. But a lot of people had a lot of positive things to say, so we appreciate that. I guess we're not, boring people, and the viewers appreciated it.
Yeah.
So they supported our efforts to do something a little different. So we definitely appreciate that.
Usually like it's like the videos where you or Ada like offers like something fresh, something different. Those are like the most fun videos, I think.
A personal perspective. Like the Wisconsin box opening video with D-Rod was cool.
Yeah.
But the collection videos, I started getting calls from people about like, oh wow, I didn't know you were that in depth into collecting. I thought you were just like a dick that bought Black Lotuses. And I'm like, no, I am the dick that buys the Black Lotuses.
That's awesome.
But I'm also the dick that buys like 1 million 10-cent cards to try to dumpster dive and look for the gradable cards and the $50 cards. And being passionate about trading card games, it's just so disappointing that a lot of people just approach it from strictly the money angle.
Yeah.
I approach it from like the historic angle. I would never want to call myself like a TCG historian, because distinctions like that go to individuals like Tavis King, for example, or even Dan from Open Boosters.
Yeah.
I'm not a historian, but I'm so much an enthusiast. It's just like, you don't know what's inside a box. It could be anything inside that box, and if you own that box, open it and share it with the world, and share your journey with the world, and share your passion, your knowledge, your enthusiasm. And it's just been such a great year so far. Being blessed with the opportunity to do that, and seeing that like the game that I said, you know what, we're gonna go all in on. It's got legs and it's growing. So what about you, man? What's 2022 look like? And I heard organized play, but outside of organized play, I know you want to go try to win.
Yeah, I want
$300,000 and a gold.
I'm trying to keep for the Pro Tour. I want us to kind of get better at making videos. Honestly, like when we first started, like I had like almost no experience.
Me too.
Working on like videos,
Yeah.
and then I think for me, like this whole process is just like kind of figuring out, watching a lot of content, but then also kind of like thinking, it's like, oh, how can we make things better? Like lately, I've been thinking about ways to kind of streamline our videos a little bit, being open to new ideas. I think I want to explore, to experiment, and then also to get really good at doing certain things. So I don't know if you are familiar with this like distinction. There's two types of like behavior, and usually the most successful individuals do both at once.
Really?
So one is you are an experimenter, you're like innovator.
Okay.
You try to like innovate. And then the other one is you like try to like perfect your craft. You
Okay.
get like really good at.
Absolutely.
I'm like by nature like more of like an innovative type of like personality.
Creative, yeah.
Yeah, but I also like want to in the coming year try to like get like really good.
Hone in and improve yourself at the craft, improve yourself at what you're good at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I've been more of on the exploitation side, not like exploiting people, but like exploiting whatever works. Like this business model works. Let me refine it. Let me improve it. Let me make it more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, this process has made me so much more creative. Having nothing to do with the channel, a couple months ago, I got invited to a corporate sporting event, and I turned that into like a vlog piece to show the rest of the company, and that encouraged them and inspired them to be like, oh wait, hey, wow, this vlog piece, it's like it's our CEO going out there and collaborating with an outside company.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have had the skills or even the thought process or the creativity to create a vlog as like a company, a monthly meeting or quarterly meeting without being a content creator. Like, I did that and they're like, oh crap, we better motivate ourselves because we want to be invited the next time Saint gets invited to a sporting event. I was like, that's the idea. You guys work hard, and then we'll get you tickets. We'll get you either courtside or skybox tickets to the next sporting event. It's just funny how it clicks. Not only that, I mean, I think that in a few of my businesses, I'm gonna end up like making some training videos or making some mission statement videos or some orientation videos so that people can come in and people can be like, oh wow, that's what this company is about, and it's all categorized or cataloged on YouTube. We haven't done it yet, but it's really funny how skills, right? All these things are skills, how skills work. And you're absolutely right. People are either innovators or exploitators, not in a bad way. Like they can either innovate something or exploit something and make it better and better. I'm good at one, but I definitely need to learn how to innovate more and be more creative, and this has definitely been a great creative outlet. Month one, I couldn't have just gone with nothing but a tripod and my phone in Wisconsin and made like a killer, collection video, right? I was like, oh, we're gonna do this about this collection. Here, hold the camera. Let's just spit some knowledge at these TCG folks. Just receiving, I had to I got a lot of like thanks and wow, that was cool, but I also literally got 6 more collection buying opportunities, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not gonna buy all 6 collections, I don't have that type of time, but it just felt really validating that they're like, wow, you're somebody that really knows how to break down and manage a collection, like you really know your trading card games. And I was like, well, thank you, that's... I didn't know like it was an innovative system, but people were learning and I was bringing value to people, just by implementing systems and, organization within trading cards or a mindset within trading cards that I thought that I just assumed it was second nature to people.
We're not all CEOs of successful businesses.
Hey, but to be fair, we're not. Yeah. And connecting with everybody, like Flesh+blood and FaBled Hunters has encouraged me to just take a lot of time, more time than I'd like in some cases, take a lot of time away from work and just connect with people and interact with people and see what people are like. And I'm talking like the good side and the bad side. Okay. Like I never within my little corporate bubble and financial services bubble, like there's no people pitchforking at my main company or pitchforking that I'm a CEO. Like those people don't last too long in my space.
Sure.
But different experiences, different things, like people speaking out like, "Oh, you're just a rich asshole" in the comment section. I'm like, okay, this is a little humbling. This is different. I don't get this type of stimulus, and it makes me like introspect, look inside. Like,
Sure.
no, am I really being an asshole doing this channel and opening boxes and da 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 da?
Yeah.
I mean, the conclusion is no, fuck you. But at least it makes me like think about a different perspective. If you don't like me sharing the experience of opening a very valuable box, there's that little X button on the top right. But everybody else that does enjoy that, like, I'm bringing value to those people. And those people appreciate me. They let me know that they appreciate me, and I appreciate them. That's what I learned. And it's making me, like, think about how I interact with people. Think about how I interact as a CEO with somebody that comes in brand new into the company. I never thought about those dynamics. I just think, here's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Here's the execution plan. Here's what needs to happen. Here's what the next quarter looks like.
Yeah.
And instead, now I'm, viewing things like, oh, what does the new hire at, in our marketing division think? What does the new hire in our sales division, our operations division think? What message am I sending out there? Like, I always think about the messaging within our State of the Union meetings and whatnot within our business. But being a content creator on FaBled Hunters has just made me hone in a little more, because there's stuff you can say. There's stuff you can't say. There's F-bombs you can drop that are appropriate, like the last one, which I find very appropriate. And then there are times where it's like, it's just excessive. It's gratuitous. It's not classy. And yeah, it's just been such a great, rewarding, validating learning process. And it's been such a great journey to take with a company that's as bought in to the community as we are to them. This is 1993 all over again, but in 2021, done right and done with a team that really just gets it. And they love their community. They love the people supporting them. They love the people buying their product. And they love the people that are out here, spreading some fab gospel. It's been a great year, right? I've had a great year. It's been great drinking and hanging out on the couch with Yuanji. You're already done. Crap, I'm behind. Let me kill this.
It's not a race.
Really good stuff. By now, if you're watching, you guys know why I like 1942. Yeah, it's been such an amazing year. I personally have to take a little bit of time off with the fam. Take a week with the little girl, Philia, to give her first Disney experience. Maybe meet up with other prominent content creators within the community. Their schedules are even busier than mine, so watch out, Florida gang. Hopefully, we could do some 2022 content in the coming weeks. And other than that, I think we're signing off for a couple weeks in January, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely be back before spoiler season starts.
Well before spoiler season starts. Probably week 3 of January, we'll have content out. And everybody that has been watching or will watch this, I just got to say, we really appreciate you. I appreciate the privilege to just make content and have it resonate with individuals within the community. This has been such a great community. I have no regrets within the community. Despite our ups and downs, it's just been such a great year. And I hope 2022 is better than this one. Yeah, as usual, I'll ask you to like, comment, subscribe, twiddle the notification button, and we'll see you in future episodes. Thanks, everybody. Bye.